It's like an archway.
An archway.
Hmm.
What kind of archway do you see? What's it made out of?
It's an energetic archway.
Mm-hmm.
It's an entrance.
Describe it more.
If you go into a modern day aquarium,
Mm-hmm.
and you're inside and there's an archway of glass or solid perspex above your head,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see the fish swimming above you and then to the side,
Yes.
to the sides of you. So you're traveling through the archway, and there's a lot of it's like on a bullet train.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very fast.
Very good. Tell me more about this.
So it's like you're traveling through all the dimensions, and the fractals of your whole are on either side, like chapters in a book,
Mm-hmm.
that you can just dip into each one
Yes.
at any given time.
Which ones are standing out to you? Which ones are you noticing?
There's one on the right,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like it's got energy swirling around it when you have a tornado approaching,
Yes.
and it's got the funnel coming down,
Mm-hmm.
but it's got light sparkling out of it in all directions. So it's a very, very strong force. It's a very strong energy.
Mm-hmm. So tap into that energy. What does it represent?
The atomic structure of who we all are,
Mm-hmm.
galaxies that are within us all. And as I expressed that with my eyes, I felt it shine out,
Mm-hmm.
so that I am the eye of the storm,
Yes.
as are you are the eye of the storm, as are the listeners the eye of the storm. But they have forgotten that they are the I am. And they are thinking that they are part of the storm and part of the tornado, part of what happens with the velocity of the speed that gets generated through that tornado, and then what it sucks up on its pathway. So do they wish to remember that they are the one controlling, the one of the eye, and they're showing me the all-seeing eye?
Mm-hmm.
So they need to rise above. They need to be above the chaos. They must not get sucked up, because when you get sucked up and you never know where that tornado is going, because it can change in any direction at any minute, at any second, and then you get spat out.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to be above.
Yes.
And this is a time for them to remember who or what they are.
Very good. So you spoke about buoyancy and resiliency. Before this session, you sent information, and you said that this was a time for cleaning and clearing. So does this have anything to do with this tornado?
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
So your listeners have been watching what we put together for your mission called The Discourse. And today you contacted this one for a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
a discourse. And we have set up the 12 sessions to honor each disciple, for each disciple held a different ray, a different light structure, a different photonic structure, as do all your listeners, your tribe that fall under the 12 disciples, the 12 tribes, each one holding a vibration. So this one and yourself, Alba, today once again synchronized in wearing white.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason today that both of you are wearing white is because white holds all the colors, all the rays, all the vibrations. And the message that we want to send today, we wish for all the tribe to be encompassed in what you humans term a group hug.
They need a group hug right now. We
This
all
is,
do.
you are correct. Many are very fractious at the moment. They are being embroiled and dragged down into what you term the minutiae, the tiny little things that are happening that are seemingly incredibly large to them. The anger and the frustration that they are feeling is because they feel that it is out of their control.
Mm-hmm.
And they want a change, they want a difference, and they are unable, they feel, to control the situation. However, our message today is they need to re-center themselves. For when they get embroiled through the tornado, they get sucked down and they get discombobulated. So their system is no longer grounded. So they need to recenter, stop sharing anything on their social media platforms that they do not feel uplifting. We are not saying to turn a blind eye, but we are saying that if you send one thing, if you feel the need to send one thing that is disturbing or a pulling down, send 3 more that are uplifting or that make you smile.
Mm.
Then your energy will become lighter, a higher vibration, and you will have more buoyancy. When you are buoyant, like a buoy, I don't know the terminology use in America for the buoy that you have that
Yes.
floats.
Mm-hmm. The buoy, yes.
Terminology.
Mm-hmm.
I thought perhaps some had called it a buoy.
Mm-hmm.
So this buoyancy is when you actually float. You are above. You are no longer sinking or being dragged down. That is why we asked for people to clean out, lose everything, get rid of, so that they can rise above, so that they do not get pulled down, so that their vibrations are not heavy. They don't go to the bottom where the bottom of the tornado is, that is causing the destruction and the mayhem. If they wish to move forward into a golden era, then their thoughts and their actions, their vibrations, then have to be golden. So if you're not vibrating at a particular resonance or frequency, how do you expect to then ride on the first class ticket? This is a question they need to ask themselves. How do they feel when they buy into the death and the destruction and the mayhem? If it leaves them with a heavy heart, put a blocker. Very kindly say, I no longer wish to receive this. Send me something that can be a solution to the heaviness.
Mm-hmm. So we need to flood social media with puppies and dancing parrots and things like that. Make it fun.
Well, you have a member of your tribe called, what this one term, Zivi, from Lithuania.
Yes.
Today, Zivi posted something that immediately made this one smile. It was a father with his 3 children, and they were playing the guitar and singing. The big brother, the middle sister, and the baby girl, the baby sister. The father was at the back. The brother was to the side, the middle sister, and the little girl in the front. The little girl was living in the moment. She was strumming that guitar and tapping it, singing out of key with all her heart and soul. And because she was so joyous and living in the moment of being human, that her brother received so much joy from it, he couldn't stop smiling. He kept on trying to attract the attention of his middle sister so that he could say, hey, look at this, look at this. Aren't we enjoying this? Look at this one. And then turn to his father. So that family was so unified because they were living in the moment and they were sharing a joyous moment. Mm-hmm. So that is the kind of thing that we would like to see. The humanity, the beauty and the joy. Mm-hmm. Now, if everybody started sending more of that, but not only sending, but living that as well, they will be doing more for the collective, more help and alignment with their star brothers and sisters in the Galactic Federation of Light, because the entire planet shifts up a vibration when the collective moves as one. And that is why we said to this one a long time ago, there's going to be a groundswell, a new movement, and it comes from the ground up, has to start from the ground. And as we now showing her, this one is actually her body, her 3D body is actually being flooded with vibrations. We have just given her a brand new light body.
Nice. Wonderful. So she is also receiving some frequencies at this time. Is that affecting her?
She is receiving new frequencies. She learned a very big lesson 2 weeks ago. Once again, another lesson. And this one is most stubborn. As her husband says, you tell everybody what to do, but you so seldom follow through yourself. But this one learned a lesson. You know, Alba, they bought what's termed a camper van to go on a trip.
Yes.
So that her earthly husband could do some cycling while he still can, while his body is still fit. Her husband really does live in the moment. He is a good way shower for this one, for she has held herself back so often from pleasures because she deemed that her physical 3D body was too heavy. And in actual fact, had she gone and done the things that she wanted to do, her body would have been lighter. There are many listeners that will be able to understand this situation. She decided to buy clothes, what's termed relaxing clothes for this camper van trip. She found them on your social media. They were advertised as vintage linen. And Alba, you know how this one just loves her linens.
Yes.
Well, they arrived 2 weeks after she got back from her trip. And when she opened the parcel, they were what is termed polyester.
Mm.
They were not vintage linen. This angered this one so much because it was unjust. It was fraudulent and it was dishonest. This one's vibrations lowered to such an extent through what she termed was incorrect that she lost 2 days of vitality. Wow. Through being totally and utterly miserable and maligned. Mm-hmm. Until we gave her a trickle, which gave her a new perspective. And she gave every single item away. All the brand new clothes. All the people that had advertised to buy them. She went back and she said, because she was selling them very cheaply, less than what she'd paid. And then she realized, how could she, in all honesty, sell something to somebody else, even though it was cheaper, than to have that feeling that she had. So she went back to them and she said, look, these clothes are a cheap imitation. They might last a year or less. I can't take human money for this. Please take it, give it to teenagers, give it to people in need. And then she sold some other items, which were her clothes that she hadn't worn for some time. When this exercise had been completed, she had such a lightness of being, because not only had she got rid of stuff that she didn't need, she had gifted to another, and she learned a very big lesson that she had gone on the camper trip. And what had she put on every day but clothes? So, Alba, the question is, how much is enough? And how many situations do you put yourselves in where you allow yourself to lower your own energy? So we put that experience in front of her with that particular company, for her to realize how little one really needs and how many people in communities are in need of what you have currently in your cupboards.
So now that we have talked about that, there's something else that has been going on right now that people are dropping their vibration on, and that is this issue with the vaccines, with COVID. What do you say about this right now? Because people that I know are just living in panic and fear about this. How do you help someone who just is just looking at the TV?
Well, we would like to come back to the word joy, Joy.
Yes.
Just own yourself. When you own yourself, it's when you begin to know who you are. The more you know who you are, the lighter your vibrations become. The lighter your vibrations become, the more you shine, the more you attract, like moths to a light. The more others then look at that 3D image and see there's no fear held in that person.
Mm-hmm.
That person is not reacting or reactive to certain situations. Why is that person so calm when there is a storm brewing all around them? And that is when they start asking questions. Each being that is here on this earth plane at this current time, in this incarnation, came to play a part of ascension, shifting the planet into her new alignment. And as that happens, the game that we spoke to you in this one about earlier,
Yes,
is being played out with the queens, the pawns, the knights, as we mentioned.
mm-hmm.
On that game are the leaders of countries, the pharmaceutical companies, the food manufacturers, the people who put the chemtrails in the air. All of them fighting for position on the board to take the pawns out and to leave the main chess players on the board.
Mm-hmm.
So, what or where are the foodstuffs, the pharmaceuticals, where this vaccination falls under? Where are they placed on the board of this game that is being played out? Which of the pawns are going to sacrifice themselves in this war for humanity? Many will be a part of a collective that will align with the vaccination. There will be the other part of the board that will decide they no longer wish to play this particular game. So, Alba, if there is a ground swell which comes from the ground up, and the board where this game is being played is on the ground, what happens to the board when there is a ground swell under the board?
Mm. Things get shaken up.
What happens to that game, Alba?
It falls apart.
What happens to the kings, the queens, the biggest players? Do they not have the longer to fall,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
to come crashing down? And that is why we say, remember who you are. For if nations stand divided, then those that make that decision live or die by their decisions. And those that decide not to play the game, but are links in the chain that we so often speak about, underneath the board, there cannot be a game any longer.
Mm.
So each 3D being, each human that is being, has and holds incredible power, for they are creator gods. And what is it that they are creating? Do they wish to be the pawn waiting to be sacrificed on the board? Or do they wish to no longer play the game, join together and disrupt the play?
Wonderful. Thank you. So that's where it comes to the be the calm. Is that it? Just observe.
To be the calm. To be the calm and say, this is not what I choose.
Mm.
For everyone has a choice. And if there are enough people that remember their power, then the current powers that be lose their power. So what is it that humans choose? How do they wish to live? What game do they wish to play? Do they wish to have a whole brand new board game with new players? What do they choose?
Very good. You know, we've talked a lot about the new earth. Are we moving into this new earth?
As you say that, we're giving this one the image of a hotel where they have huge glass doors and a brass handle, and it is circular. It is shown in many of your movies where somebody walks through and you can have 3 or 4 or 5 people all walking through this revolving door at the same time. Yes. To go into the hotel and to exit the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what the new earth is like. You are on this side. You choose to think, feel, and act and carry a certain way. Then you are through the door on the other side in the lobby of the beautiful hotel. Or are you on this side and you haven't got into the revolving door yet? And many of you are on this side, slipping through the door onto the other side, having a glimpse, being not too sure of what you are seeing. Is it really possible? And then lowering your vibration and slipping through the door and back onto the side again. So there is a dissolving at the moment with the new energy that is coming through. This doorway is becoming ever closer. So it could be gossamer thin, where you could step between the two. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes. So it's not a place, it's more of a vibration.
It's a vibration, it's a dimension, it's a
Mhm.
frequency. It is sound, it is light, it is tonic in structure. It is like plasma. If you could imagine a plasma field, energetic field, filled with colors, like the bubble that we've showed her, blowing a bubble with the sunlight reflecting all the colors. It is malleable, it is movement, it is texture, it is reflection. What form do you wish to choose out of the myriads of colors, frequencies, sound, and light for your expansion? What is it that you wish to experience? Do you wish to carry yourself in your 3D, embroiled in your troubles, feeling distraught? Or do you wish to be buoyant like the bubble and rise above and be a light warrior, holding the light, helping the collective? For we would like to ask the listeners a question today for them to hold in their hearts. How do they feel when they see a bubble? A bright, effervescent bubble with a child blowing it, giggling and giggling, only the way a young child who's carefree, lost in the moment. How do they feel when they witness that? Now I wish to paint another picture. There's a tornado coming. The skies are dark. It is grey. It is ominous. It is heavy. It is destructive. Now they are visualizing that. Battened down, heavy weather. Now we're showing the tornado that is splitting, and there are 6 or 7, and they are going in all directions. You don't know which direction they're going to take. Where do you go? Where do you hide? How do you avoid the damage? Now they have a different feeling in their heart. One is going to be one dimension. The other is going to travel them into another dimension. One is heavier, one is lighter. How do they wish to travel? Do they wish to be a light traveler, or do they wish to be a heavy traveler? Are they somebody that they would wish to, what you term, hang out with? Or would they feel drained after spending time with themselves? For if you drain those around you, soon you will be left with a depleted battery and very few relationships. So it is literally a time to lighten up, lighten your load. And that's why we say, Alba, start spreading the joy. Do one thing, if not more, every single day that brings you joy. Go and buy some bubbles. Bubble bath. Have a bubble bath. Wash the dishes. Look at the bubbles. Start laughing, remembering this conversation when you see that.
Mm-hmm.
Buy bubbles for other people. Be the bubble. Float free. Reflect all the colors, for every color gives you new choices. Expansion, not contraction. Alba, there is much in what you call the pipeline that we are working with and for together for humanity. If you could see what we are creating, co-creating through you, with you, for ascension, you would all be jumping like little joyful jelly beans.
Sounds great. I have another question about this ascension because there's a lot of people online. Everyone has their own, I guess, story, agenda. Who is helping the humans on Earth with this ascension? Are there brothers and sisters from other galaxies or other planets that are helping us?
As we spoke about the 12 tribes,
Mm-hmm.
12 disciples, with the different fractals, with the different star systems, systems within systems, realms within realms, that in your current 3D state, you are unable to comprehend that the depth and the breadth of the so-called rescue mission, the magnitude is bigger than you as an earthling could ever comprehend. There is nothing to fear. Now, Alba, we wish to tell you a lovely story. 2 nights ago, okay, let's back it up. This one son has been staying with them due to the whole COVID issue in Australia. He came back for a bit. We orchestrated that he come back to help this one with her website and to get her on track. And we orchestrated that he miss his flight for a following week, for we wished to give them a gift. So 2 nights ago, at 11:45 at night, the sky in the southern hemisphere was magnificent. The stars in the sky looked so low, she felt that if she just put her hand out, she could just pull them out of the sky, just like decorations on a Christmas tree. And she saw that her son was still awake, and she said, come, bring your cell phone with the app on it. And as you hold that to the night sky, the whole screen illuminates and tells you exactly what star system you're looking at, what planet you're looking at, and forms the pattern of Sagittarius or Orion. And so he came down. And as they were looking at the night sky, the clear night sky, they saw 3 shooting stars. So she got 2 cushions, and they have a big outside day bed, night bed, and a blanket. And they were lying on their backs looking up at the night sky. And then they saw maybe 4 or 5 satellites passing by, and they watched the tracking of the satellites. And then we decided to give them a surprise, for we showed them 2 of our lights as a flash. And this one went in a totally different direction to the left, high, 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 high up. And the sun said, that's not a satellite. The satellites, they don't flash, they just go slowly all in an arc. Surely that can't be a plane because it hasn't got those lights. This is, Mum, what is that? I said, I don't know. And then another one appeared. Wow, what's that going in that same direction? And then we gave them a light show. We gave them the biggest light that they've ever seen. Below Orion, in a circular star system, just above the V structure, we showed our light. It was like a supernova. The size was bigger than all those planets put together. They were in a state of shock. Both of them turned to each other at exactly the same time and said, oh, did you see that? They couldn't believe it. And they were seeing it together because we wanted them to know that we were there and that what they saw was real. It was gigantic. It was bigger than any international fireworks display they had ever seen. It filled up the night sky. So we tell you the story, Alba, to let you know about the backing that humanity has at the moment. The many that are being controlled over the few. So if your listeners can imagine the bright, bright sky being filled up with light, now look at those tiny little players on your earth plane that are trying to erode the many.
Mm-hmm.
They do not stand a chance. They have been playing a long game, but the game is now coming to an end.
Oh, thank you. Will we ever see our star brothers and sisters?
You see them nightly. You, during your dream time, have many visitations.
Oh, okay.
So some humans remember their dreams and some don't. At the moment, many humans are having what they term very, very weird dreams.
Yes, I've heard that.
And this is because the energy, the quickening is upon them. And that veil that we spoke about going through the dimensions is getting thinner and thinner. They are receiving instructions from their star brothers and their star sisters and their star families, from their councils of light, from their guardians of the universe, for they are the guardians of the universe. When they wake up in the morning and they go about their earthly ways, they forget what has happened in that sleeping state. But they are being aligned. They are being given strength for the times ahead. Will there be hardships? There will be hardships, but it is a ship, and a ship can be navigated to make it easier. Alba, your humans have males and females. The males do not give birth. The females carry the form and they give birth. That birth is painful.
Yes.
But what do you get? Once you've gone through the pain, what have you got for the pain, that short amount of pain? Was it worth it, Alba?
Yep. New life.
It's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So you are going through birthing pains for ascension.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there will be disturbances, but it's going to be worth it, for there will be a different vibrational level and a different way of being, for the old ways are now heavy ways, dragging down ways when you are supposed to be light beings. This is a time for rejoicing. Soon the mask wearing, all the troubles will flip in a twinkling of an eye. Things will change. Humans need to have hope, and hope comes from faith, and faith comes from knowing one's self and one's abilities and one's capabilities. This is not a time for pity parties. It is time for the humans now to wake up from the slumbering, take control of themselves, for you cannot control another. Take control of yourself and rejoice.
Wonderful. Thank you. You had spoken that you are, you're not of this earth, are you? Who are we speaking with today?
They are all smiling. I saw them when I was traveling up the stairs, and you said, look to the left and look to the right. What do you see? And all 12 disciples were hanging out, giving me a cherry wave. Like, oh, here you go. Going to go and do another session. Let's see what comes through.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm getting emotional now. Oh my gosh. They've just shown me Tabash and us in Peru, in that place in Machu Picchu.
Mm-hmm.
Standing in a circle. They were behind us. They all had their hands linked, their arms linked like links on a chain, holding us at that time, coming through Jesus, through Tabash, with his message. So now they showed me the globe, the planet Earth. Oh my gosh. And as they were with us in Peru, they've got their arms around the earth. They've got Christ, the Christ in light above, directing the rays. All the rays are coming down, surrounding us all, protecting us, guiding us, all the tribes falling under each disciple, Each disciple has a group on earth, whether you're Spanish or Chinese or Indian, African, Caucasian, Indonesian, whatever you are, you can still be part of that tribe, whichever disciple it is. They are collective on their own, looking after their people from all the different stargates. It's very, very bright. It's been gently held by them, lifted, and going to be put into place in its new system. There's nothing to fear. Everything is in place. We are being held by the most beautiful love and frequency. They're now showing me the ark, Noah's ark. They said, put yourselves in a place of rest for the troubled times ahead. Know that you are being held. Know that you are being supported. There is much love for you all.
Is that all for today?
That is all they need to know. Love, that vibration, is the purest. And we come back to the white. The white unites us all. And they're saying now, they're showing me a picture of the way they have the Me Too movements, all the different movements. Imagine if we all wore white on one particular day. That means we are a brotherhood, united, because this white, as we said, covers all the colors, holds all the colors together in place. And the white flag is flying for peace and harmony through this earth plane. Go now and be the bubble. Remember, you are the bubble. Remember, you hold the light. All your fractals cover all the colors. This is a small adventure. We would like to thank you all for being part of Ascension. For you have come here on a very important mission. You are now helping Gaia take her place. And we would like to end with a little joke. If you think you are not a winner and you haven't achieved a lot in your life, remember, you were the sperm, that little tadpole that beat all the other little tadpoles, the millions of tadpoles, to be the winner for this incarnation. So you are a champion swimmer. So now it is time to swim again. Swim through all the nonsense. Swim to the winning streak. So be it.
Thank you very much. Are we complete?
We are complete.
Thank you. So with that, Jill, I want you to come back. Taking a deep breath in and bringing yourself totally back into the room.
Wow.
How was that?
Absolutely beautiful.
It was. It was.
Beautiful.
Wow. Speechless.
So much hope.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about.
No, no, no. Just got to put yourself into that mindset of being the eye
Yep.
of the storm, you know?
Yeah.
That's really it. Turning off the TV, turning off the news, don't go searching for anything. Look
Yep.
instead for things that are fun and human.
And don't let families sort of, they saying to me, don't fight with your family because they have a different opinion to you. That's their incarnation, that's their experience. As painful as it might be, they are just as pained about you for not making that same decision. But each person, friends, family, relationships, yes, it's going to divide many, but it is just the way it is, and you have to own yourself.
Joy. Just own yourself.
Just own yourself. Go and buy the
We need
bubble.
to make white t-shirts that say joy.
Yeah. Now I'm so glad that I know what that light was. Max and I were absolutely gobsmacked. We would have thought it was our imagination if we both hadn't seen it.
How big was it?
Alba, you know, you can see Orion's belt, right?
Yes.
That would have swallowed that entire thing up.
Wow.
Ugh.
Wow.
It took it took center stage in the sky. In the sky. It was like the sky had exploded.
That's amazing.
With bright white light. It was like, wow, and then it just went.
Wow.
It was like, what the hell was that? So if it's that big, what on earth are we worried about?
Right. Yeah. Well, we needed a good reminder today because, a lot of people have been wanting to hear an update. So.
And they see you are ahead of the game. So they might be putting their chess pieces on, but Alba's, no, I've got your game. I've got your number.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I know that you were on your journey with your husband. And I always envision like when you get up on an escalator, how you wait for the step. You don't just jump on an escalator. You wait for the step to come. And when you feel like it, then you get up on the step. And when I was thinking about doing this with you, it was like, no, it's not time yet. No, and then today it's like, yes, it's time. It was time.
Perfect time today because also the house is empty. There's lots of beautiful light. I'm feeling better. I had a great night's sleep.
Yep.
I've been, I actually feel different than I have for years and years and years and years. Do you know, Alba, I sent you that little clip that Greg took of me just before we got married, and I only saw it for the very first time. I was like 35 or 36 years old, that little clip from the movies.
Yep.
Seeing that younger version of myself, it's like watching a completely different person. Mm-hmm. Being so light, moving so beautifully, being so full of anticipation and
joy.
Joy, because I had nothing else to think about than the love of my life and woohoo, Yep. So I'm starting to feel like that again. I've found my joy again.
Yep.
And I just stop and look at little things. I look at a new little tree and I find it just fills my heart.
Well, we're on the same page because you remember I bought a kayak. I had bought my first kayak about over 30 years ago.
Yep.
And now it's like, you know what? I'm going to buy that same kayak again, and let's have some adventures. And I feel the same way. It's like, okay, it's time to finally do what you love, connect with nature, and have fun. So yeah, I'm doing it too.
And that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just going out, and I'm not afraid of whether I've got fat arms or anything anymore, because that was not making me put on a swimsuit, because I was thinking, oh my gosh, I can't expose these fat arms to other people. I was so conscious of self, which is so pathetic, because they don't even care. So they might say, oh, look at the fat arms, and then move on. And in the meantime, you haven't had a swim, and you're boiling hot and watching everybody else having fun.
Exactly.
How
So, Jill,
stupid.
what do you want to tell everybody today?
Hey guys, life is good. Well, life is as good as you decide it to be.
Exactly. Exactly. So
And great.
do you have any news about the book for everybody?
Yes, I've now got a website, and I've got everything there. And I decided that Max is leaving tomorrow. So instead of, so the publisher's proofread everything, and she sent it back to me, and I'm checking to see if she hasn't missed any little bits and pieces. I found about 10 or 12 commas in the first 3 chapters that just needed to be placed just for emphasis. And then Max needed to use my computer because he's going back to Melbourne tomorrow, because he sold his. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's going to make the book late. And I then realized, you know what? So what? I'm putting those time limits on myself.
Yep. Yeah.
So why would I rob myself of that special time? Stop freaking out. Let him use the computer. Go and have a swim. So it's going to come out as soon as it comes out.
Okay. So that's what we want to tell everybody. It'll come out when it comes out. So we'll let everybody know. We'll let everybody know. So thank you everybody for watching. It's been a delight, and we love bringing this information to you. I think it's very important. Be the calm in the storm. Be the observer, and choose to be the joy. Just own yourself. Just have fun. Have fun with life. So with that, thank you for watching. Until the next time. Bye-bye.
Cheers.